Hello again, welcome back. A couple of days ago I finished reading the Rum Diary by Hunter S. Thompson. It's the second book that I've read by Hunter Thompson and I did enjoy it, and I'd like to give you quite a brief review of the book right now. The book was written, or he began writing it in 1959 when he was 22 years old. I'm not sure of the exact publication date, but I presume it was in the late 50s or early 60s. The story is semi-autobiographical, and it's about a youngish journalist who's about 30 or 32 years old, and he goes to Puerto Rico to work for a small kind of independent newspaper. And when he arrives, he soon discovers that the company is kind of run on a shoestring budget, and everybody who works for the newspaper is basically a drunk, a waster, or some kind of loser in some way. And the story, it's basically an account of this man on the island, and he drinks a lot. He drinks a hell of a lot of rum, hence the title, hence the name of the book. He goes around drinking a lot of rum, he gets into scrapes, he gets into kind of mini adventures, and he kind of just manages to write enough articles to keep his job at this small company. That's the general gist of the book. The tone of the book is very humorous, I'd say. It's written in quite a jovial tone, or a comical tone. However, there is a kind of undercurrent of despair that I picked up on. Reading about this young man's adventures, he gets drunk a lot, and it's like a big adventure, and it's all very funny, but you can tell that underneath all of that there's a kind of depression going on. I actually laughed out loud several times reading this book. I genuinely did. There are times when there are certain scenes where this character called Yemen gets into fights and he gets them all into trouble. And he goes to a party, and there's this girl who kind of gets left in the party, and it's hinted at that she ends up in a big orgy with them and stuff. And there are certain scenes in the office as well where the boss is kind of losing his mind and stuff. I genuinely laughed out loud more than once. But if you read between the lines, there's a kind of desperation there as well, which came from Hunter Thompson himself, who is quite a tragic character in a way. I compare him to Charles Bukowski, actually. I've read a few books by Charles Bukowski, and you can see my earlier video on that. He was also a tragic figure, and I kind of compare the two of them, Hunter Thompson and Charles Bukowski. I think I prefer reading Hunter Thompson's work though, mind you. I think Hunter Thompson's work is a lot more entertaining. Charles Bukowski's writing gets a bit repetitive after a while. I mean, that is, his books are literally the same all the way through. At least with Hunter Thompson, there's a kind of storyline to it. Although it is still pointless. This novel, The Rum Diary, it is pointless. You're kind of reading through it, and you're thinking, okay, you're drinking rum again. Okay, you're going to work again. Okay, you're going to another party, but there are no big twists and turns. If you're into your commercial bestsellers, where there's like a surprise waiting around the corner, or there's a big twist and turn, this is not the book for you. There's no real point to it. You're reading Thompson's prose, and you're reading his little insights into life, and that, I will say that for the book, now and again you get little pearls of wisdom. You get these little genius insights into life, a bit like Bukowski again. you do get that in his book, and in this book, every chapter you get an intelligent thought, like a wise insight into life. They're not always positive, but they are wise, and that's a reason to read this book. It's a very short book. It's just about 120 pages or so. It took me a week to read it, but I'm a slow reader. If you're a quick reader, you could probably knock it out in about 2 days. I did get bored halfway through. I got bored and I took a break from it and I started reading something else. However, when I started reading the second half, it did pick up. I did enjoy the second half. It got stronger again. Another good thing about this book is that it's nice to read about pre-tech life. It's set in the late 50s, and it was written in the late 50s. So you don't read about smartphones. Nobody's got a smartphone. And also, there's a photographer working for the newspaper, and he actually has to go out and take photos with film, and then he has to develop the photos in a dark room in the office. It's just nice reading about things like that. And also, the main protagonist, the journalist, he actually carries a typewriter around with him, and when he gets on the plane to go to Puerto Rico, he actually has to carry this typewriter with him. It's just nice to read about things like that, like pre-technology lifestyle. I quite enjoyed that aspect of it. The big question is it better than Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas? Or is it even as good as that? And my answer to that question is no. It's just nowhere near as good as Fear and Loathing. So if you're thinking about reading just one Hunter S. Thompson book, make it Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, because that's better. It just is. If, however, you're a big Hunter S. Thompson fan and you're thinking about giving this one a go, yes, I'd say give it a try, because it's a short read and it is entertaining. But don't expect there to be a point to the story. It's just like an account of a young man's adventure in Puerto Rico. Okay, so that's my review of the Rum Diary. Before you go, I'd just like to make 2 more quick points, if I may. I finished a new drawing a few days ago. I've had a long fascination with the way that we exist. Every day I marvel at the fact that we exist and we're sitting here and you're watching this video. I'm amazed by the fact that we evolved on this rock called Earth, and I often try to symbolise this in my drawings. And my latest attempt at this is a drawing which I have named The Roll of a Life, which is a slight play on the roll of a dice. It's a dice with a newborn baby inside, and it kind of symbolises the way that we're here by random chance. The chance of evolution unfolding the way it did. If evolution had taken a slightly different turn, we wouldn't be here by now. And also, of course, when a man and a woman procreate or reproduce, have sex, there's also the chance that you might not have won the race with the millions of other sperms that were in the race with you. So that's what this drawing's about. I've uploaded this to jamesflynn.org. You can take a closer look over there. One more thing. My sci-fi novella, Swarm, it now has an official release date, and that date is the 1st of February 2021, just about 1 month away. However, you can pre-order this book today, right now. I've actually uploaded this book to 3 different providers this time: Amazon, Smashwords and Kobo. I don't really know much about Smashwords and Kobo. I'm still learning the ropes with those two, so My advice is to get it from Amazon, but if you're into Smashwords or Kobo, you can also pre-order the book right now from there as well. I would also like to say, if you're willing to leave a review for this book on Amazon or Goodreads, send me an email. You can get my email address from jamesflynn.org. Send me an email and I will actually give you a free copy of this book, a free digital copy, in exchange for a review, if you're willing to do that. Also, from now, at some point from now until the 1st of February, the release date, I'll be making another video about Swarm, and I'll be reading a couple of excerpts from the book, so take a look out for that. Thanks for watching. Try to have a great day on this weird, wonderful, peculiar rock called Earth. Goodbye, see you again.